Hey guys, it's Felix from Bars of Cigars. I'm here on the porch lounge with what's supposed to be a treat for you and I together. So, this is the latest release from the Oz Family Cigars. Previously, Ozgener Cigars, but they shortened the name for us to make it easy for us to ask what we're looking for when we walk into our tobacconist. But this is the Keratoba, and just like his previous releases, it has a beautiful story behind it. And I got time with Tim Ozgener himself at PCA to give me those details, so I'll share them with you. The Keratoba is actually two names combined into one. First, Kara, meaning black, and this is reminiscent of their days back at CAO, where their first release was entitled Black. Now, the Toba is actually the most volcanic lake in the Sumatra region. So, giving you some insight into the makeup of this cigar, the wrapper is actually a Sumatran Ecuadorian wrapper. The binder is Nicaraguan, and the filler is a mix of Dominican and Nicaraguan tobacco. So, based upon that, you kind of get some insight into the flavor and details that's coming your way. So, I look forward to lighting this up and giving you those details. So, as usual, we're going to break it up into the first third, second third, and final third, and then I'll give you my summary and what my thoughts are truly of the Keratoba. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it and light it up. All right, guys, we got the smoke going, and as you can see, I'm well into it. I'm probably about an inch and some change into it. But before we get into the flavors, I want to tell you about the actual cigar itself. Just the outer appearance, it is a nice brown, soft brown, nice feel and texture to it. It's a soft box press. I really can't even call it a box press, but it is just the smallest amount of a box press cigar. If you can see that here, and I'll just rotate it. But smallest amount of a box press cigar, but really good. The ash is holding on well. Really good structure to the cigar. Now this is the Robusto, as I mentioned. I would like to try it in maybe a larger or a different vitola, just to see how it continues to burn. But let's go to the notes here. So first off, getting into it, you get what I would call a toasted everything bagel. May sound it's a toasted breadiness, but then if you think about the everything bagel, you got the toasted poppy seeds, the sesame seeds, and on top of that, you get a little bit of black pepper in there as well. But sandwiched after that, you get a nice dark chocolate note here on this cigar. Really pleasant, really nice. Has almost a dry feel in the mouth, but just a touch of sweetness. And then again, that is finished off with heavier black pepper. Really good smoke. As I mentioned, the ash is holding on good. I'm gonna dust that off. Really good burn. Great smoke output. Just starting off. It didn't take any time to get lit. It's starting to burn pretty evenly, almost. So really good structure here. Really nice flavor profile. This is a good representation of, I would say, CAO and Ozgener, what they have now coming together. We're going to continue to smoke. About to get into the second half of this, or the second third of this, and then we'll give you the notes and the flavors there, and then we'll come back on the final third. But let's keep smoking. All right, guys, we are well into the second third. As you can see, I am right above the band. It actually looks like a dual band, but it's actually one with the brand and then the name of the cigar, the single band. But the transition here is actually delightful and unexpected. Well, somewhat unexpected. It's heavier. So going with those earlier notes, I should have known that it was going to get a little bit heavier, but I don't know. It was smoking so smooth. Yeah, I know that's such a generic term, but it was smoking so smooth that I wasn't expecting it to get as heavy as it is. Not in a powerful sense, but on the body of the smoke. It is a heavier, denser smoke with heavier flavors. So I mentioned the toasted everything bagel, right? The toasted poppy seeds, sesame seeds, then with the dark chocolate. Here, I'm getting more wood. I'm getting a heavier charred wood, like you would if you a barrel. If you're familiar with in the whiskey space, the char or the toastiness of the barrel is what I'm getting here. It's a little bit heavier. It gives me a charred oak, or charred oak that is really good on the palate. because it has actually has some sweetness to it, but it's so heavy, right? The pepper is still there. The dark chocolate kind of wings out a little bit. Now it's more of the if again talking about those toasted kind of baking spices. So the poppy seed, sesame seed, but now think about the toasted black pepper seed. On the retrohale, you actually get black pepper and white pepper. So really good retrohale. Nice flavors, just a denser smoke, but it's still presented to you in such a smooth way. It doesn't spike and punch you in the face. It is very sophisticated in the smoke and the way it presents itself, and a little transition to the darker side of things. So I definitely can feel as I'm smoking through it, I'm transitioning, even me personally, I'm transitioning to a more heavier, relaxed sense of being. Really good smoke. Again, the burn ring has been, perfect 360 all the way around. Haven't had to relight it throughout the transitions. So really good smoke, but I expect nothing less from Tim. So definitely look for this one, but we're going to continue to smoke this one. It may get heavier, it may stay where it's at, but we don't know. So let's continue to smoke, see what it gives us. But the highlight here is, again, it's the build quality, the burn quality, the transition to a heavier, more present smoke, but again, very smooth smoke. And let's just see where it goes. All right, so let's keep smoking. Stay with me, and we'll wrap it up with the final third and my overall thoughts. All right, keep smoking. All right, guys, we are back with the final third of the Oz Family Keratoba. Really no complaints here. I just, again, want to talk about the smoking experience first. It's been great. I know the Robusto is very short. I actually would like to have this same diameter, but just longer, because I really enjoy this smoke. But let's talk about the flavors here. The transition from the second third to the final third hasn't been too dynamic, to be quite honest. Still getting kind of that heavier, darker notes. The wood is there. I talked about a toasted oak earlier, and then those combinations of those toasted bacon spices are still there. The highlight here is, again, the retrohale. From the second third to the final third is amazing. It brings out so much more flavor to the actual smoke. It brings out more of those peppers. So even though you have such a dynamic poppy seed, a sesame seed notes there, and that toasted breadiness and that toasted oak, but that pepper really just gives just a little bit more attention or spike to the flavor notes. But it has been a great smoke. The smoke output, just really good. There's a nice little touch of just a little bit of earth in that back end. You go into a little bit of tartness, but what I really highlight here is the sarsaparilla. So if you know the history of root beer and sarsaparilla, it gives a little bit of tartness, but you can replicate that with some bitter roots, some vanilla, a little bit of course, the baking spices, some molasses. That is what I'm getting here in this last transition. It's the more of the sarsaparilla. Think about a flat Dr. Pepper, right? So after you've opened it, it sat out on the shelf for a little bit, but you still get that deep syrupiness. You still get the vanilla. You still get all those the bitter root notes. That's what I'm getting here on this final third, is a flat root beer or a sarsaparilla note, but it's really good. It's really pleasant. This, I think, will be early evening to late evening smoke, even though I'm having it in the early evening, but I'm pairing it well with this Pursuit United double oak here. And if you know anything about double oak whiskey, it tends to lean towards the chocolate note, so that is bringing out those dark chocolates that I mentioned in the first third, but it continues here. This is a store pick from Westside Beverage. Really good pairing with this, because with those sarsaparilla notes, you want something that kind of complements but also contrasts, which I always talk about when pairing whiskey with a cigar. Really good here. I'm going to continue to smoke this all the way in, but guys, Ozgener has not let me down with his releases. So if you're a fan of the CAO releases, of course, continue to smoke that. But Oz is really doing something with his own We could talk about the other brands that he released, the other lines of cigars that he released. But this one here is really a combination of the two brands in one. I think he's leaning heavy on what his father did with CAO and with what he's bringing with Oz Family Cigars. This was a good smoke that I need to get more of, and I really want to get more of Vitolas of it. I would love to see this in maybe Lancero, or like I said, a Churchill, a Corona Gordo. A Corona Gordo will be amazing with this, or even a Toro. So I'm going to continue to smoke this, but guys, look for Oz Family Cigars. Try to get it in your humidor if you don't have it in your local humidor. Ask the tobacconist, hey, can we get some Oz Family Cigars here? Especially the Keratoba. I'm going to talk to my local tobacconist, but let's try to get something together where we have this brand in more people's ear and in more humidors. So guys, this has been Bars and Cigars signing out, enjoying this on this Sunday evening. But guys, light up your life and enjoy the Ozgener Keratoba.